Next on the list is Philip, is it Vizo? V-Z-Z-O? Did I say that right?
Uzo.
Okay, Uzo. Go ahead.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Philip Uzo. I live at 299 Scuffleboro Road. I'm on the corner of Scuffleboro and Gregory. My comments are unrelated to the topic at hand, but when I moved there in '98, our mailboxes were on the opposite side of Scuffleboro Road. Well, in 2010 was when they came through with the water line, so they had to pull our mailboxes up, and they did what they had to do and put the mailboxes back, but then the ditch started sinking. So my mail carrier pulled in one day and said they couldn't deliver the mail no more because of the ditch sinking. I couldn't get anybody from Public Works to come deal with it. So I asked my mail carrier if I could just move my mailbox onto Gregory Lane, since that's where my driveway is anyway. So she said, no, you don't have to change your address. You can just move them and we'll take care of the rest. So I did. I moved mine and my neighbors across on the other corner, adjacent corner from me, on the Gregory Lane beside my mailbox. It worked great up until a few months ago when the county paving contractors came through and paved the road, Gregory Lane. And after they got done paving, they put red dirt on the side of the road, on the shoulder. So now, every time it rains, it turns into a mud hole. So now I can't get my mail again. My mail carrier pulled up in the yard and said she couldn't bring my mail because she was afraid of getting stuck at the mailbox. So I sent out an email to Public Works on the 8th of October, and that's gone. I've not gotten a response to date. Sent an email out to my commissioner on the 30th, and I still haven't gotten a response from him either. So meanwhile, I'm not getting my mail. Well, I just went and picked up my property tax bill. I had to go to the post office to pick it up. It went up this year. But my thing is, why should we be paying taxes to a government that's unresponsive and unaccountable, apparently? I can't even get nobody to call me back or email me back or anything. So I would just appreciate somebody's prompt attention to this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the list, Bill Vargo. Bill?
Good morning, everyone. I guess I'm going to beat a dead horse a little bit more here. I want to talk about the moratorium. We all know there's got to be some changes to some of the ordinances, like the housing density and your PUD developments and so forth. Being at 8, I'm sure everybody wants to look at that and bring that number down. But I know you all know this, that we can create new ordinances for every meeting. We don't have to sit down and go through all these town hall meetings. It's just smoke and mirrors as far as I'm concerned. Like today, for example, we've got some commissioners that put several different agenda items on today's meeting that probably took them 5 minutes to write. Why don't they spend that 5 minutes and write a new ordinance that we could have been discussing and voting on today, pass or fail? Didn't do it. So in the past 2 months since the moratorium's been in place, there's nothing been done. No new ordinances even suggested. We had a work session. They showed all your concerns. Nothing's been discussed. I can see us coming to the 6-month time period when this moratorium ends and nothing being done. And then your commissioner here that started this thing is going to say, oh, we need an extension because we need more time. You don't need more time. I recall at a meeting about 1.5 years ago that planning and zoning and the fire department came up here at 10 o'clock one night and presented 62 pages of new ordinances. Not 62 new ordinances, 62 pages of new ordinances. And they wanted you to pass them in one meeting. Okay? Y'all can do the same thing. Each one of you could put your heads together and say, we're gonna present this new ordinance at this meeting. Bring a half a dozen of them up so we don't have an all-night meeting. and every meeting, even have some called meetings, and bring up some new ordinances. We could have this done in 3 months instead of 6 months, and we're going to come to the end of that 6 months, and Mr. Hershey's going to ask for another moratorium, okay? Only because he doesn't want any progress in this county. He stated to me he doesn't like growth. He likes it nice and quiet here. And I think you're being backdoored by him by falling for this moratorium thing when all of you know darn well that you can place new ordinances on every meeting, have a called meeting in between, place a few more up. And we get this done real short order instead of dragging this out for maybe a year and closing the county down. We overspent $3 million last year, had to come out of the general fund. Why? Because you overspent. We need to be able to cover that money with taxes, business taxes, and so forth. We're not doing it by closing the county. We're going the other way. I'll guarantee you next year, if this continues, you're going to be $4 million upside down next year.
Thanks, Bill. Moving along, that is all of the public comments, and we come to item number 6, that's the consent agenda. Today's consent agenda includes approval of October 21st, 2025 regular business meeting, approval of the minutes, October 22nd, the work session, and approval of 2025 alcohol license. And can you tell me how many folks are on there? Only one. And so that's what's on the consent agenda. Is there any objections to any of these items? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
A second. Is there further discussion, or is there any discussion? Hearing none, then I will call for the electronic vote. We are voting to approve the consent agenda, which consists of approval of minutes of October 21st, 2025, approval of minutes October 22nd, 2025, the work session, and approval of that one alcohol license. Voting is complete. Districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 vote aye. The consent agenda is approved. Moving along to item number 7, a discussion and possible action on the holding the Smithsonian Voices and Votes Democracy in America exhibit in the BOC, the Board of Commissioners Room 203. Voices and Votes is based on a major exhibit at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. The traveling exhibit will visit 6 cities in Georgia. Eatonton, Georgia would be the first stop. The exhibit would run from April 20th through May 31st, 2026. Is Melissa Swindle or Lynn Roman? Go ahead. I would like for you to make your presentation.
Sure. Thank you. Good morning.
And is it Melissa?
Swindell, yes.
Okay, Swindle. Okay, very good.
So Georgia Writers Museum, in partnership with the Old School History Museum, applied to host a traveling exhibit through the Smithsonian Institution, and in partnership with Georgia Humanities. They're the ones bringing the exhibit to the state. We in Eatonton were selected to be the first of the sites for the state of Georgia, and that would mean we would host the statewide opening reception here in Putnam County. We are also one of 2 of the closest sites to Metro Atlanta area. The exhibit is designed to be a regional exhibit, but focused to bring people into the county where it's being held. So our hope is that in the counties surrounding us, and even from Metro Atlanta, since they won't be hosting the exhibit, that we'll have a lot more presence here in the county for that. Not just tourists, but school groups and other traveling organizations that travel for group tours. Let's see. Well, the exhibit itself is about 600 square feet, so we're asking either for this room or this room plus the atrium to host the exhibit for the time frame of April 20th to May 31st. And in doing that, we are also putting together a community-based exhibit. So the exhibit is the history of democracy in America. and as neutral as possible. And to pair with that, we have about 7 or 8 other organizations that are helping us with artifacts and information from across our county's history so that we can make sure that there's a local component to everything that we're doing for this exhibit. And any questions or?
Gentlemen,
anything I can answer? Sure.
questions? Before we go to that question, this is being held in conjunction with the nation's 250th birthday.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say that up front.
Thank you, yes, I
Because
forgot to
we
mention
have
that.
talked about that before. Commissioner Garrett, you asked first.
Melissa, thank you. I think this is a great initiative. Just to clarify, so the local components, would that be a part of the exhibit in this room?
Yes, yes, it will be. And we're working to collect artifacts and stories so that we can make this a real kind of exhibit. My background is in museum exhibits. And working with Old School History, who has a history of the county of Putnam, to make sure that we can pair artifacts, stories, both countywide stories, personal stories about things that relate to democracy. So who has the right to vote? What do freedoms mean? What are your responsibilities as a citizen? So those sort of stories are what we're collecting.
Okay.
But I'd like to mention the local participants or local partners are the Georges Ryder Museum, the Old School History Museum, the Plaza Arts Center, Butler Baker Alumni Association, the Artisan Village and Guild, Rock Eagle, Eatonton Putnam County Library, and the Putnam County Charter School Systems. Those are the partners. And everybody should have a...
Yes. My only other question is, so my understanding it'll be, the dates are on here, April 20th through May 31st. So this room, throughout that period, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 9 to 5, what are we talking about?
So that's, I guess, open for discussion. They would like us to be open pretty much regular business hours plus either one evening or one weekend. So anybody who's working 9 to 5 has a chance after hours to come see the exhibit. But it could be 3 days a week, 4 days a week. It's up for discussion for sure. And when Lynn and I were talking, the other option we were thinking was possibly host the exhibit in the atrium of this building, and potentially use this room for school groups to have a lesson before they go into the exhibit. So that way it doesn't take up this room the full time.
And sorry, last question. And you said that the exhibits are supposed to be based in the regions. So this exhibit will not be in Atlanta, will not be in a big city, and it's supposed to draw people from those cities.
Yes, this is part of the Museums on Main Street exhibit series, which is a subset of the Smithsonian Institution. And that group, Museums on Main Street, only sends exhibits to rural communities with a population under a certain amount. We've had one in Putnam County before, I think it was about 10 years ago, on agriculture, and it was hosted at the Plaza Arts Center.
Okay, thank you.
They're going to visit 6 cities, and we're one of the 6. Commissioner Hersey?
Well, just let me say that I think this is a great opportunity for Eatonton and Putnam County, and I, for one, would be very pleased to have it in this building. I don't see any objection to or conflicts with any meetings that are going to go on in this.
I can explain. If we do it in this room, there are 2 possible conflicts, and one of them, we usually cancel that first meeting in May, the BOC meeting in May, because of our annual meeting over in Savannah. So it would conflict one meeting, I believe, which we could hold next door. Or if they decide to use the atrium, that would be wonderful. I think that's a marvelous place. If there's 600 square feet there, I think there is. But that's the...
Should be plenty of room, and thank you for bringing this to us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Any other comments? Thank you. We appreciate that. Melissa, thank you for bringing, and I will call for a motion, and the motion would be to allow voices and votes, and it's Democracy in America, to be here in Putnam County in our location, April 20th through May 31st.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the electronic vote. Voting is complete. Districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 vote aye. We now have approval, and we're looking forward to voices and votes for democracy in America. Thank you very much for bringing.
Thank
We're
you,
proud to be
Commissioners.
number one.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Moving along to item number 8, this is authorization for the chairman to sign the final plat for Phase 1 of the Publix development. Someone from Planning and Zoning, who's going to be here from Planning and Zoning? Okay, Adam will speak to this.
Mr. Chairman, before the body today is a request from the developer of the Publix development for asking for a final plat. Mr. McAllister and Mr. Schaefer are here to present. Specifically, a copy of the final plat is in the packet, but the copy that was in your packet is not the actual signed copy. There are signed copies behind Ms. Butterworth that have been approved by all the individual departments of the county. One note, and I want to let the speaker speak to what they are asking for the body, but normally with a final plat approval, we have all the infrastructure completed prior to the final plat coming in. When I say infrastructure, it would be the utility lines, everything that's depicted on the plat that's on the screen. Your ordinances do allow for a bond to be put in for the uncompleted infrastructure that is yet to be finished. And the speakers will probably explain why they need to bond a portion of the required components that aren't done yet. But that is allowed in your ordinances, and they've included the bond information in your packet. So,
Okay, on the agenda to speak now is Rick McAllister, who has signed in, and I believe he has 3 minutes. Is that correct? 3 minutes.
Rick McAllister, 1341 Beverly Drive, Athens, Georgia, agent for Lake Country Retail Investors, LLC. The plat we are talking about is included in the preliminary plat that was approved a few months or about a year ago for Lake Country Village. And it was noted on that preliminary plat that this was a separate parcel in a phase of that preliminary plat. This is approximately 8.18 acres, and it is the Publix site, the development site for Publix. And as the county attorney has mentioned, we did have a development meeting on site, and all the technical review committee members have signed the plat in approval of the infrastructure we have installed to date. Some of the surety that the county attorney spoke upon is 3 things. One, there is a Georgia transmission pole right in the middle of where our future intersection will be with Highway 44, the first intersection, which is the full access curb cut. That transmission pole is scheduled to be removed and relocated this spring. And we have posted the fee for that and the paid receipt and acknowledgement from Georgia Power that has been paid. And that's approximately $472,000. In addition to that, the second DOT curb cut is bonded right now along with the first DOT curb cut. And that bond is approximately $260,000. In addition to that, we have to supply most of the roads are completed except for the final paving of the roads, and we can't turn over anything to the county until the roads are completed. So we've placed approximately $371,000 in surety for the completion of the roads that we need to have for the remainder of the next plat. The phase 2 plat will include the necessary requirements and surety to assure those go into a public road consideration. With that, the developer is extremely excited to bring Publix to the community market and actually on an accelerated schedule. So if there's any other questions, I'll be glad to answer those.
I'm not prepared to act as the chairman, so, but y'all, among yourselves, have conversations with.
Well, just a clarifying question, just for my benefit. I wasn't a commissioner when all this began. So just explain to me, and this may be a question for you, or maybe a question for you. Is it conventional to approve at a later stage post-infrastructure installation? And if so, just explain the timing to me here, the need for a bond, doing it now as opposed to doing it later.
Normally, in the standard process, a developer would come in with a preliminary plat that lays out their proposal of how they'll make the site look, including the installation of the utilities, infrastructure, everything. I kind of would describe it as below ground before building permits would issue. In the normal process, the site would be prepared and completed, and then you come in for a final plat. At that time, the final plat reflects where everything actually got done, because sometimes between the construction phase, you may have some changes in the operation and the way that it looks before it gets completed. The bond requirement or the bond element is allowed in your code. You have done it a handful of times previously as a commission, and it's intended to both take into account that there may be issues regarding supply chains or other problems that arise where stopping development on the entire parcel to wait on say a lift station to come in from somewhere wouldn't make a lot of sense. Or in this case, I think the developer here is dealing with Georgia Power, which probably doesn't move at the same pace as everybody else, and the other issues that Mr. McAllister brought up. The bond is in place to ensure that if for whatever reason the developer does not complete these infrastructure improvements, the county can call on the bond and do so. Just as a note of commentary, staff has discussed that the current the current procedure for a bond on final plats probably needs to be revisited, because right now we don't have an awful lot of procedure in place for it. We do allow it, meaning it would be interpreted in favor of the developer to be able to do it. Moving forward, we as staff are going to create a better procedural process on how these particular instances may be handled. But to your question, we have done it. We most recently did it with the property in front of Thunder Valley, the Thunder Point commercial development. The extension of Scott Road was bonded, but if you've been by there, you'll see it's being done now. So that is, again, we're allowed to do it within your code. The commissioners can approve it. My commentary is that we are going to revisit and maybe put some more procedural requirements around how that process works.
Thank you.
I do want to add one other thing. The water and sewer component of the infrastructure is complete.
I don't know who's in charge here, but a quick question, Rick. It was a little bit confusing to me in the package. Is this final plat just for the public site, or does it include the residential component of the project?
It's just the public site.
It's just the public site?
Yes, sir.
So the residential part, the lots that'll be sold and the
Yeah,
condos and whatever
that's a
are
future
not
phase.
included in that? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The next speaker to sign in is Mr. Adam Schaefer.
Good morning. Thanks for giving me a moment to speak. I'm Adam Schaefer. I represent the owner and developer of the overall project, and excuse me for wearing a cap today. Really, we're excited about the project. I think the particulars were just covered by Rick. You know, we've moved a lot, as you've seen, a lot of the developments already occurred. A lot of the infrastructure's in place. You know, water, sewer, storm systems are all operational. We just need a little bit of help here. We're obviously waiting on Georgia Power. We have a tight schedule with them. We've already paid for the work, and their plan is to complete that work in first quarter, January, February. We've been given a schedule and are communicating actively with them. So I appreciate y'all's consideration of our final plat, and I'll answer any questions you might have.
It may be for Rick as opposed to you, Adam. In the packet, again, there is a reference to the Glenwood Springs substation, and I didn't understand. The 472,000 is for moving the pole, but what does the Glenwood Springs?
That was, so apparently you got the earlier version. They used a template at Georgia Power, which I noticed and got them to revise. That was from an old project, so I'm not really
So
sure.
you're
why
not
the other-
paying Georgia Power
we've already
$472,000
paid
to work
to-
on the Glenwood Springs
We are not,
substation?
no.
Okay, good.
When do you anticipate Publix is going to open?
So they've stated that they would like to open prior to Thanksgiving next year.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Other questions, and my apologies.
Thank you. Thank you for your consideration.
Wait just a second. Commissioner Hersey?
Say, thank you for your vision and welcome.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're very excited about what we're doing.
I will entertain a motion now, and that is authorization for the chairman to sign the final plat for Phase 1 of the Publix development.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote electronically. Voting is complete. Districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 vote aye, and I will be very pleased to sign the final plat for Phase 1 of the Publix development. Making sure no one is signed in. Moving along to item number 9. This is a report from the Jimmy Davis Park Partnership Advisory Committee and possible action. Janie Reed, are you here? Yes, there, I see you. If you would come forward, please. And I believe we have this report in front of us.
That was the report from the email this morning.
That's your
And
report.
you have copies of the additional for later. Memo.
Can you pull the microphone down, please? No, we can't hear you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Now you can hear me. I am Janie Reed, and I serve as the chairperson as the Jimmy Davis Park Partnership Advisory Council Committee that was appointed by you, or I was appointed by you in April of '24. Of course, I believe that each of you understand and know the background and purpose of the committee and what we were trying to do or what we were charged to do. And we do know that Jimmy Davis Park, which was formerly East Eatonton Park, the area over there is known as East Eatonton, was renamed in 2008 in honor of Mr. Jimmy Davis, who was a World War II veteran and one of Putnam County's first black commissioners. I think it's also worthy to note that for over 5 decades, more than 50 years, the park has served as a community anchor for recreation, education, and social engagement. The JD Park, or the Jimmy Davis Park Partnership Advisory Council Committee, held several meetings during the time from which it was implemented up until now. And during those meetings, we addressed several things such as summer readiness programs, other programming. We also ended up doing some bylaw adoption, which was not originally part of our directive, but conversations and actions led to that, and community engagement. The first meetings, or during several first meetings, first half of the year of '24, that led to the formation of the 3-year plan that was presented to you in October '24. Since then, others meetings led the council to add to the plan or to mark certain things as completed. And you have a copy of the plan in front of you as well, okay? Quarterly updates is number 3 on what I'm presenting to you. It's just that we've had several meetings and a brief snippet of what was held at those particular meetings, such as in May, which was a call meeting. We discussed summer readiness and programming. Our observation was that there were no summer camps or indoor youth activities. No television or board games had been purchased, which we had discussed. And the recommendation was to try to balance outdoor improvements with indoor amenities to engage local youth. Public feedback. The public stated that or wanted improved meeting acoustics and concerns about the locked gates after staff hours. There were many statements from the public stating that the gate, or it always looked as if it was closed, which the park was never closed, except for the late evening when things were supposed to be closed. There were some direct questions to the council/committee asking, why was it closed? And the D2 or District 2 commissioner stated that the lock gates were a temporary security measure to deter vandalism, and the gates would be removed later pending